Okay, so dividing polynomials is kind of interesting. It's a lot like dividing long division, regular numbers, but with polynomials. So you write the first polynomial down inside the division sign, and then the second one, which you're dividing by, goes in the front. And then you're always asking yourself, what number, so what that goes up here, what number, turn that into a box. So you're asking what number times the first term gives you this first term. So what times p gives you 6p squared? So in front of p, there's a 1, right? So I think about the numbers separate from the letters. So 6 times 1 is 6, so I know I need to put a 6 in there. And then how do I get p to become a p squared? Well, I put a p on it. So 6p times p gives me 6p squared. So I always need those to match. And then what I do is distribute this 6p into the 1p plus 10, or minus 10. So 6p times p is 6p squared. 6p minus 10 will be times minus 10 will be negative 60p. And then what you're doing is subtracting this polynomial from the first two. So 6p squared minus 6p squared cancels out, which they always should. If they don't, then you pick the wrong number to put up there in that red box. Then we take negative 57 minus negative 60. So that minus, the minus that's here and that minus that's there, double negative, so positive. So negative 57p plus 60p. So negative 57 plus 60. So that's going to come out to be a positive 3p. Then you drop down the minus 39, and you do the same thing again. So what number times the p is going to give us the 3p? Okay, so 1 times 3 is 3, so I need a 3. But there's already a p in the 1p, so I don't need a p with that 3. I just put a 3. And there's a positive 3, so I'm going to put a plus in front of it. And then I distribute it. So 3 will get distributed into the p minus 10. So the 3 here multiplies the p minus 10. So 3 times p gives me 3p. I'm going to write that down underneath. And then 3 times the negative 10 will be negative 30. And then you always subtract. So 3p minus 3p cancels. Negative 39 minus negative 30 turns out to a plus. So negative 39 plus 30 is going to be negative 9. When you run out of things to drop down, you're finished. This is the remainder. And you put the remainder over what you divided by. So the quotient, or the answer, is that 6p plus 3 on the top of the bar. And then you put minus 9 over p minus 10. So the p minus 10 comes from what you're dividing by, whatever's in front. The 6p plus 3 comes from the top. All right, so let's do one more. First rewrite it, so we have x cubed plus 13x squared plus 32x minus 71. Put that inside of your division bar and put x plus 8 on the outside. So the first thing you want to ask is what number times x gives you x cubed? So it's all ones, so you don't need to worry about the number, but how do you go from x to x cubed? You need 2 more x's. So you just put x squared there, and then you distribute it. Okay, so we're taking x squared times x, then x squared times the 8. So we got x cubed plus 8x squared. Then you always subtract. Okay, so the x cubed minus x cubed cancels out. The 13 minus 8 is going to give you 5x squared. Drop down the 32x and do it again. So what number times x gives you 5x squared? So 5 times 1 is 5. X times x will be the x squared. So I need 5x. And then distribute that 5x into the x plus 8. We're going to get 5x squared. 5x times x is 5x squared. 5x times 8 is going to be 40x. Then subtract. And we have 5x cubed, 5x squared minus 5x squared cancels. 32x minus 40x is going to be negative 8x. And then drop down that minus 7. And your question is, what number times x is negative 8x? So negative 8 times 1 is negative 8. And I don't need another x because I already have one over here. So all I need is a negative 8. So negative 8 will get distributed into the x plus 8. So negative 8 times x is negative 8x. Negative 8 times negative 8 will be negative 64. And then we subtract. So negative 8x minus negative 8x will cancel. Negative 7 minus negative 64. That double negative is going to turn this to a positive. So negative 7 plus 64 is what you're looking at. So we have 57. So there's our remainder. And we write our answer. We take the stuff on top. X squared plus 5x minus 8. And then you put plus 57, because that 57 is a positive, over whatever we divided by, x plus 8. All right, so give that a try. If you have questions, make sure you ask.